Alright guys, so I'm over here at Harley Davidson in Golden, Colorado. This is their demo days, and where's all the bikes? Everyone's taking all the bikes out. There's hardly any bikes left. But I did reserve one up here. The Heritage Classic. So how good at your bike ID? Do you know which one is the Heritage Classic? You'll know it's the Heritage Classic because it is the one with the leather and the studs on the bags. This is a sure sign that it's the Heritage Classic right there. There you go. This is an awesome bike. Alright, first of all, you're probably wondering how much it is. This one, wow, look at that. It's only $22.9. Not bad. I just bought the Fat Boy for $20. Well, I could have had a Heritage Classic instead. That's one thing. You buy one bike and then you're like regretting, oh, I should have bought this other bike. Should have bought another one. But you can't have them all. Can't have them all. I would say just sitting on this one fits me the best. Out of all the bikes. I'm actually 6'4". Yeah. This one, I mean, just stock. I mean, with the Fat Boy, I had to change the seat and the pegs and everything to get it to be comfortable so I could stretch out. And this one seems very comfortable. All right, so to turn it on, turn on the ignition. I love this display. This is like the Fat Boy display. We actually have the miles per hour up top, and then you have different things you can put on the bottom. You can put, the RPM or whatever. And here's where you start it. Make sure it's in neutral. You can pull on the clutch, hit the button, and start it right up. Oh yeah, should have bought a Heritage. Should have bought a Heritage. Maybe I'll buy a Heritage in addition to my Fat Boy and my Dyna. And I can have multiple bikes. All right, you gotta watch this place. There's like bikes flying around all over around here, so you have to kind of be careful. Boy, out of all the bikes, this is a nice bike right here. This is like, if I wouldn't bought that Fat Boy, I'd say this is my bike right here. It fits so well. The clutch is interesting because there's not a lot of play in the clutch before you actually hit the friction zone. It's like right there, which is interesting. Oh, even the floorboards feel good on this bike. It's very ergonomic for a tall person. I would say if you are 6'4", definitely try this bike. Maybe first before you try all the other bikes. Hands down, this is the most comfortable and where I can actually stretch out the best. So pretty nice. Has a pretty good sound to it, a little bit of roar, which is nice. No modes or anything to deal with. Don't have to worry about modes. Ooh yeah. That is pretty fast. Very nice. I would say it definitely has more rumble than my Fat Boy. I have a 2023 Fat Boy. I've been debating whether to actually ride and review the Fat Boy because I could just go home and do mine. I should show you all the upgrades. That's what I should do. Instead of riding just the stock one, I should do the upgrades. The wind dynamic is kind of interesting on this fairing. Corners, takes corners pretty good. Not as solid in the corners as you'd see like on a road glide. It seems a lot more solid in the corners. We're going about 65. So not really any buffeting. Maybe a little bit of turbulence, maybe. Going 65. But it's weird because I can actually hear up on my like my left, up ahead and to the left. It's like a little bit of wind noise, but not bad. It's not deafening. You know, some bikes have a really deafening sound for the wind. So this one's actually really good. As far as keeping the wind off me, it's probably one of the best, I'd say. It's nice. Not really anything on the dash to get in your way. You can see really good. This windscreen's pretty high up too. And normally the top of the windscreen, it should come like just below your line of sight. So it's almost, you could probably go up another inch on this for me. But I'm kind of unusual since I'm such a tall rider. So they'd probably even calm it down even more. One hand wave around the corner, no problem at all. Acceleration going 55, bringing it up a little, pretty good. Got a little pep to it, plenty of power. I don't know if it says the 114 or the 117. I'll have to look when I get back. But I'd say they're pretty close between the 114 and the 117. And then once you get into the 121, they actually have the modes, which drives me crazy. Because if you start out in like rain mode in the 121, you're like, this has no power. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to someone that was riding a 121. They said it was kind of a dog, and they didn't know about the different modes that you could actually, you know, the 121, if you put it in sport mode, it's so fast you could, it almost feels like you could pull up the front end, which is crazy. Brakes are pretty much, I'd say they're, on this, it seems like it's better than the standard Harley Davidson brakes. A little bit better. The clutch seems different than most of your Harley Davidsons. So on some of your Harleys, it seems like there's a little bit more play, I guess you call it like a dead spot in the clutch where you let it out maybe an inch before it grabs. This one seems like it grabs right away. And on a lot of your Harleys, it seems like there's a really long friction zone to where you have to, you know, you can let the clutch out like, some of them it's almost like 3 inches you're letting the clutch out before it's completely out. This one seems like it grabs sooner with a shorter friction zone in the clutch, which I kind of like it, but I'd say it's a little bit harder to get used to, just kind of going through all the bikes, because all the other ones it seems like a little bit different than this one. Nice and solid around the corners. A little bit of buffeting right here, 60 miles an hour. I'd probably take the windshield off. Ride without a windshield. I've never really been a fan of a windshield. So the problem is with the windshield is sooner or later you're going to feel that buffeting. At certain speeds and certain crosswinds. I've never had a really perfect one. It's very rare. I actually on the road glide, I'd say that's probably one of the close to being perfect as far as the wind. I was on a tri-glide, a 3-wheeler last year, and that was like the ultimate wind protection, which like there was no buffeting and no wind sound, which is unbelievable. But here, now I'm going 60, there's like no buffeting. And almost no wind noise. So, I'd say this is probably one of the best windshields if you're going for a windshield. Of course, if you went up to like 80 miles an hour, I don't know if you could find any windshield that would do well at that speed. That's kind of the downside of a windscreen. You know, personally, I prefer no windscreen and a backrest. I actually put a little backrest, a real short one, on my Fat Boy. That way you're not fighting the wind on the highway. It's a little bit better than having to deal with buffeting. Alright, so I'm going to turn around up here. This is very ergonomic, very comfortable, very spread out. I don't feel crunched. One of the few bikes for someone who's 6'4" to actually be comfortable on, I would say. I'm sure turning around is going to be pretty easy. Not too bad. Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah. That's nice. Nice bike. I don't feel like I really need to gun it, but we'll see how fast it'll go. That's wide open. Wow. That's quick. I got up to 60 in second gear, which is amazing. Let's see, what bike was I on last? I was on the Lowrider S. That seemed like it had a different gear ratio than a lot of your bikes. You really couldn't go that fast in second gear, but it felt like it was a faster bike just because it was geared lower, it seemed like. And it took me like 3 or 4 gears to get to 60 versus this one, second gear. So pros and cons to different bikes. I am getting a little bit of buffeting, which is kind of messing up my vision. I think the windscreen could be like another inch. I think if it was another inch higher, I probably wouldn't get any buffeting. And it's funny because I've been on some bikes where I got incredible amount of buffeting, and then I got on the exact same bike like the following year with a taller windscreen with 0 buffeting. So a lot of it depends on the height of the windscreen and just the aerodynamics of it. So you definitely want to try different bikes with different windscreens before you make a purchase. See which one's the best. As far as the seat, I think my rear end's just fatigued from all the different uncomfortable bikes. This is like one of my last bikes after 2 days of riding pretty much non-stop in the heat. But I'd say the seat's not bad actually on this one. It's actually, I think my seat, my rear end's recovering. I think the seat's pretty good. It feels like your rear end's recovering. Yeah, the seat's pretty good. My only complaint is the buffeting on this. A little bit too much buffeting from that windscreen. It's kind of hard to like focus straight. It's like my vision is being jarred around from the buffeting, which is not a good thing. Of course, I'm going kind of into the wind now, so that's the other thing that's kind of deceiving is if you're going into the wind or away from the wind. So if the wind's going like 30 miles an hour and you're going 50, that's an equivalent of like going 80. So I've been in really strong wind going against the wind, and sometimes it feels like you're going like 100 miles an hour just because of the wind. So not bad. Got it up to 70. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Has a nice roar to it. If this was my bike, I'd pull over right now and pull off that windscreen. And then the bike would be perfect. That's what I would do. Yeah, that's the problem with windscreens. The mirrors, I have really good view behind me. I'd say on a lot of these mirrors, I was really, the Breakout was the first time I rode the Breakout this year, and it was like almost the perfect bike for me. But the problem is in the Breakout was the mirrors. The mirrors seemed like they were a little bit too close in to where all I could see in the mirrors was my arm. I couldn't even see behind me. I could just see my arm. And on this one, I can hardly see my arms at all. They're perfect. I can see behind me. Perfect. No problem at all. Yeah, this is a nice bike. If it wasn't for that windscreen, this would be ideal. And kind of the same way with the Fat Boy. When I bought the Fat Boy, you know, it didn't have the right ergonomics, and there's some things that I didn't like about it, but you know, when you buy a bike, you gotta make some changes to get it exactly like you like. I don't know how easy it would be to, it looks like that windscreen just pulls right off. Looks like a quick release. I haven't seen many Heritage with the windscreen removed. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if a lot of people complain about that. But yeah, it's very comfortable. My seat's still feeling good. My legs feel like they're slightly forward from straight up and down, so plenty of room to kind of stretch out a little bit. Got a little bit of road noise. Let's see, if you pull in the clutch, oh yeah, most of it goes away. Look at that. Look at that. A lot of it's engine vibration. That's interesting. That's kind of surprising. Getting that much engine vibration. You know, some of these Harleys, some of them are really super smooth, and some of them almost feel like they're like rubber mounted, like a Dyna, where they shake a lot and give you a lot of vibration, which is, it's pretty interesting, the difference between the different bikes, just in the vibration. So, that's pretty amazing. It's a good thing to do is when you're cruising down the road, just pull in the clutch and let the engine just drop down to idle, and then you can feel exactly what's coming from the road and what's coming from the engine. But yeah, this is a fun bike. Not too bad. Fun little bike. I feel like it's easy to handle, easy to get used to. No problems at all. Got your little electric bikes there. Alright, so we're coming back up to the end of the day of the second day for Harley Davidson demo rides. Oh yeah, this is one of those bikes where you don't want to give it up. You want to keep going. That's when you know it's your bike. When you don't want to give up the demo ride. You just want to keep riding and riding. So yeah, this, if I didn't buy a Fat Boy, I'd definitely consider this as a purchase. And when I was unemployed, I was riding every day, but now that I got a job, it's mainly just on the weekends that I ride. So, but yeah, this is pretty nice, pretty nice, pretty nice. I love the blue color too. It's a really nice blue. Let's see if I can find a spot for this here. Wow, look at all the bikes that are back. Wow, it's a full house. They all came back. That's amazing. Wow. Alright, let's see if I can do this without touching the ground. Pretty nice. Alright, there you have it. That's an awesome bike. And it doesn't have the knob in the middle like some of them have, the on and off knob. That is the Heritage Classic 114 2023. Beautiful looking bike. Alright guys, thanks for watching, thanks for coming along, and I will see you next time.